Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Thomas Jefferson said, "If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done." Benjamin Franklin said, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." Basically, get off your duff, get to working, you've got dreams, you've got goals, you've got to do what it takes to get them. Like, subscribe, comment, show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. The Wall Street Journal is considered pretty conservative. But for some reason, they are wanting to back the Beijing government, and they did so by getting rid of a journalist who had just become the head of the Hong Kong Journalist Association. Her name is Selina Cheng, and while some of her articles I probably would not have attempted to read, she was in charge of, she wrote the electric vehicle articles in China. She was based in Hong Kong, so here she is in China, and she was writing about electric vehicles in China. She also wrote quite a few articles about Elon Musk. I'm not really sure if she liked him. I mean, she kept trying to write about Tesla, whereas electric vehicles in China aren't necessarily Tesla based. But that was the situation. They had not wanted her to become part of the Hong Kong Journalist Association. Chinese government didn't want her to be part of the Hong Kong Chinese Association, and she was elected 100-2 as chairman. Well, chairwoman, sorry. And so this is the situation that's going on there. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit.
This morning I was fired from the Wall Street Journal. I am appalled that the first press conference I'm giving as HKJA's new chair is to announce that I was fired for taking up this position in a press union. Around 3 weeks ago, after senior editors at the newspaper found out I was running to be HKJA's chairperson, my supervisors in the UK directed me to withdraw from the election. She also asked me to quit the board, which I've served on since 2021, even though the Wall Street Journal approved this when I was hired. This was the day before our election. I declined her requests and was immediately told it would be incompatible with my job. I am deeply shocked that senior editors at the paper would actively violate their employees' human rights by preventing them from advocating for press freedoms the journal's reporters rely on to work in a place where journalists and their rights are under threat.
So, here's what I'm trying to figure out. Here's a woman who, no matter what her politics are, she's fighting for freedom of press in a nation that barely has it, actually doesn't really have it at all. And here is someone who, okay, let's go and let's show you how much she has to know that she's in danger. Seriously, let's talk about how much she's in danger. The person that she is replacing is Ronson Chan Ron Singh. Probably his name is Chan Ron Singh, but it's easier for white folk like me to list it as Ronson Chan. But Chan Ron Singh is a Hong Kong journalist and a chairman of the Hong Kong Journalist Association. He's a previous one. He previously worked He previously worked for Apple Daily and Stand News. He became a delivery driver after both these outlets were closed due to the enactment of the Hong Kong National Security Law. This is a law that basically it's cracking down on any freedom within Hong Kong. You can look it up yourself. His home was raided shortly before Stand News closed down. September 22nd, he was charged with obstructing police. Hey! Obstructing police. We've got something similar. It's called resisting arrest in this country. And have you noticed that they like to arrest people for that whenever they don't like these people? They can't prove anything else, but hey, get them for resisting arrest. In this case, it's China, and they're being arrested for obstructing police. Days before, he was set to take a fellowship at the Reuters Institute at Oxford University. The arrest was widely felt to be part of an attack on Hong Kong's freedom of press. Chan was released on bail 23 September after pleading not guilty to obstructing police officers and was allowed to travel to the UK to take up his fellowship. This is who she is replacing. So, she becomes the head of the Hong Kong Journalists Association, and the Wall Street Journal fired her. They're claiming it's downsizing. But it's pretty interesting that they weren't wanting her to take up a role in this. Not like she had a political role with the Wall Street Journal to begin with. But here she is taking up what should be a feather in the cap role for the Wall Street Journal. And they're upset about this. I'm thinking that it's part of a lot of lobbying going on by the Chinese government because they've got a lot of say-so in our media. And let's look at a couple other things. So my question is, does it not look like the Wall Street Journal, that is normally this epitome of conservative defending the Constitution picture, does it not look like they are simping? I guess it's the right term. I might be using that a little incorrectly because, well, us rednecks, we don't always use them kind of words. Basically, are they not bending over for the Chinese? That's what it looks like to me. Everything that I've looked into, there was no reason to fire her. She might have written a little bit too much on Elon Musk, but she was doing her job. I was looking at the other stuff, and they should not have published articles that they didn't approve of. Now, I'm not saying that I was a fan of her writing. I have never written or never read anything that this woman has written. But here's a woman in a place that is trying to fight for freedom. We have Democrats, some of whom actually go over there and admonish anybody trying to have freedom over there. The Democratic Socialist Party, Socialist Workers' Party, continues to claim that they don't like the Chinese Communist Party, yet we keep finding that the Chinese Communist Party is working hand in hand with the Democratic Socialist Workers' Party on so many issues. They have agreement on so many issues. Some of the Dems go over to China and they brag about how their government is. The Democratic Socialist Workers' Party is attempting to create the social credit score that China has implemented. So basically, I have a problem with the Wall Street Journal right now. You don't have to like me for not liking the Wall Street Journal, but the signs are showing way too much that it's in favor of them siding with the Chinese government on this issue. And he said it was a strategy to shift the center of gravity in the region to Singapore, is what the Journal's editor-in-chief Emma Tucker said on this. But it's pathetic. You would think that any American newspaper that's worth its salt, we are supposedly the land of the free, you would honestly think that you would want to keep somebody around that's a thorn in the side of a government like the Chinese have. But no, the Wall Street Journal just bent over and kissed the ass of the Chinese government for this. I'm sorry. You may demand free speech in this country. You may demand freedom of press in this country, which is what Wall Street Journal does. But the real crux of the matter shows when you are demanding it for other people. This woman needs to be rehired. This is somebody that could be a feather in the cap. Okay, so she doesn't do a job that is that big of a deal. But it's still something that shows that you are fighting for freedom of the press in more than this country. You're fighting for it at a time that it matters. But Wall Street Journal did not do this. I find this reprehensible. All I see from the Wall Street Journal is money grubbing. Yes, they do a more conservative approach to news, but what this is not conservative. What this is cowardly. So, I'm just wondering about this. Maybe you should too. But this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all think about this. Seriously, think about this. Why would the Wall Street Journal bend over like this, like so many other companies in this nation? But y'all have a good day now, and enjoy the last day of the Republican National Convention. Y'all have a good day now.